Existing spreadsheets are shown upon opening Google Sheets. To create a new spreadsheet, simply click on the plus button that appears in the lower right of this program. A new sheet appears which allows us to enter XY coordinate pairs. For example, let's enter 1.25 as the X coordinate, 11.49 as the corresponding Y coordinate. Second data point 2.45 for X, 25.49 for Y. The third one 3.59 for X, 34.96 for Y. 4.75 for X, 48.2 for Y, and finally 6.08 for X and 59.85 for Y. To create an XY graph with this data, we must highlight it. Starting with the first X and dragging across to the last Y coordinate, we highlight this data. Then we go up to the Insert menu and we select Chart. Chart options will then appear. We want to select chart types, which will show all that are available, and then scroll down through the options until we find a scatter chart option. Click on it and a preliminary scatter chart of the data will appear to the right. To actually insert it on the sheet, we click on Insert, and then we'll actually see it in with the data. We'll move it a little bit so we can still see the data. Now there's still things to be done to the chart. If we select the pull down menu in the upper right, and if we choose Advanced Edit, we can actually enhance the chart. We can give it a new title. We're going to call this graph Reaction Stoichiometry. And then when we hit return or click somewhere else, that will update on the chart. There's various options that can be taken care of. Let's change the horizontal axis to actually say mass of reactant. And then for the vertical axis, let's make it mass of product. So those will update as soon as we click somewhere else. There's other options that can be done to this chart as well. But let's go all the way down where we can actually enter a straight line. And it's called a trend line. And now none is selected, but if we pull this menu down, we'll want to select linear as the option. And once we select that, it will appear, and then there's a couple other options we want to appear as well. First is the equation used to construct that line, and then finally we also like to see R squared as well. So if we then click on Update after making these changes, that graph will show, and our equation appears in the form of y equals mx plus b, where m is 9.981, and the y-intercept, b, is minus 0.172, and r squared is 0.997, indicating that since it's close to 1, the data falls very close to this constructed straight line. We can change the name of this graph. If we go up to File and select Rename, we can type in a new name. We'll just call it Reaction Stoichiometry. And then after we've made that change, we can click on the sheet icon in the upper left-hand corner of the spreadsheet. And when we return to the main page, then there's the spreadsheet we've just created along with the XY graph, Reaction Stoichiometry.